Children, I know it's the W revision period, so I've decided to do another question on forces because forces is really a topic that confuses many of us. So let's take a look at this Nanyang prelim question from 2023, and this is on elastic spring force. So the question says that the table below shows the length of springs X and Y when blocks of different mass were hung on them as shown below. So we have the diagram, you can see the setup and the result table. So again, remember to always analyze and annotate, analyze and annotate, analyze and annotate, you will score. Always remember to go slow, break down the question first, get the information. The question is your best friend. Ready to go to part A. Using the data from the table, important information, highlight, explain which spring X or Y can extend more easily. I'm sure that most of you can do this very fast because this is a straightforward question that just need you to link the results to your answer. So first, we must always make a choice. If you forget to make a choice and you go straight into the explanation, you will get a 0. Because my choice would be spring X, right? So what's the reason? So the reason is for the same amount of mass hung, spring X extends more. So you can see, especially at the mass 50 grams, 40 grams, you can see that when we have the same mass hung, you can see that spring X actually extends more than Y. Now let's proceed to part B, which is usually a more difficult part in the question. An experiment was set up below using spring Y. The rod was horizontal when a 50-gram block was placed in the pan. So for some of you who may not be familiar with the science words like this, okay, so this is vertical and this is horizontal, right? So let's carry on with the question. How does conducting the experiment in an environment without wind increases the accuracy of the results? Wow, lots of keywords. So let's highlight in an environment without wind and increases the accuracy of the results. Important information. The question is your best friend. If you are familiar with experiment-based question, you will know that environment without wind is actually a fixed variable. So of course, we must use our favorite word for such question, to ensure. So what do you want to ensure? So of course, we want to ensure that there is no wind to move the spring or to move the pan that will affect the results of the experiment. But let's put this better into an answer with the right keywords. Let's put the keywords together to ensure that there is no wind to move the pan so that the extension of the spring is only due to the mass of the block and not any other factors. So this will ensure that the measurements is taken accurately. All right, this question is actually quite straightforward, but it is a very commonly tested concept. So I hope that this little video has helped you in your revision.